Today, we need to talk about a really strange modern problem. How is it possible to earn a six-figure salary and still feel like you're completely broke? On paper, it just doesn't add up. But for so many people, it's their everyday reality. So let's dive into this paradox. So, does this question feel a little personal? I mean, you look at your paycheck, you see that big, impressive number, but then at the end of the month, where did it all go? If that sounds familiar, I promise you, you are so not alone in this. Just look at this number. It tells a pretty wild story. Fresh data from 2024 shows that a full 20% of households making over $150,000 a year reported that they were living paycheck to paycheck. This isn't some fringe issue. It's happening to millions of high earners. And that right there, that's what we're calling the six-figure paradox. It's this bizarre situation where a high income gives you this illusion of financial security. You feel like you should be well off. But just beneath the surface, that feeling is hiding some pretty serious financial stress. I mean, let's just put this into perspective for a second. If you're earning over $230,000 a year, you are in the top 10% of earners in the entire country. By any measure, that's a fantastic income. But here's the kicker. That number by itself guarantees you absolutely nothing. So if the money coming in isn't the problem, what is? All right, so the first big mistake, it actually starts in your head. It's this psychological pitfall that so many smart, successful people fall into without even noticing. And we're calling it the confidence trap. I love this quote from Priya Milani because she just completely nails it. There's this unspoken assumption that if you're good at your job and you make a lot of money, you must automatically be good with money. But, being a great lawyer or doctor doesn't make you a great financial planner. And that is the core of the problem right there. This false financial confidence is the belief that your big paycheck can just cover up for a lack of an actual plan. It lets you get away with not having a budget or clear goals because you just figure, hey, I make good money, it'll all work out. Okay, so once that false confidence is in place, it kind of opens the floodgates for the next big problem. And this one is all about your behavior. This is where the money actually vanishes. Let's talk about the spending creep, or what you might know as lifestyle inflation. You know exactly how this goes, right? As soon as you get a raise, your spending just expands to match it. It starts off small. You upgrade to a nicer apartment. Then you start taking those bougie vacations you see all over Instagram. And then, before you know it, a $400 juicer suddenly seems like a perfectly reasonable purchase. Each step feels normal, but it all adds up. And this is where it gets really dangerous. This isn't just about buying fancy things. Every single dollar you spend upgrading your lifestyle today is a dollar you're not putting towards building actual wealth for your future. It's like a silent thief that just eats up all the progress you should be making. And one of the biggest and honestly most well-intentioned versions of this spending creep, it's overcommitting to your kids' education. Of course, you want the best for them, but it's an absolutely massive expense that can completely derail your finances if you don't plan for it. Yeah, the numbers here are just, wow, they're staggering. We're talking about an average total cost of around $300,000 to send just one child through private school and then college. And wanting to provide that is amazing, but trying to pay for it as you go without a real plan usually means you end up sacrificing your own financial security, especially your retirement. So you've got this mix of overconfidence and spending that's just creeping up. And that leads us straight into mistake number 3, the planning blind spots. These are the technical nuts and bolts errors that just pop up when you don't have a real strategy for your money. I think this certified financial planner, Luis Rosa, really puts it perfectly. For high earners, it's almost never an income problem. It's a structure problem. It's about not having a roadmap for where all that money is supposed to go. So what do these blind spots actually look like in the real world? Well, for starters, there are often no real financial goals, just this vague idea of, I should save more. Then there's this other one, which sounds crazy, but it's unbalanced saving. You might be so laser-focused on maxing out your 401k that you have zero cash saved for other huge life goals, like a wedding or a down payment. And finally, a big one, poor tax planning. Luis Rosa has this brilliant analogy to explain the difference. He says tax preparation, which is what most of us do in April, is like looking in the rearview mirror. You're just reporting on what already happened. But tax planning, that's looking at the road ahead. It's making smart moves all year long to lower the bill you'll face later. It's about being proactive, not reactive. All right, so we've talked about the big mistakes, right? The mindset, the spending, the lack of planning. Let's shift gears and talk about how to actually fix this. How do we start building real, lasting financial security? Really, the path forward comes down to one word: intentionality. You have to start by knowing your numbers, and I mean really knowing them. Not just what you make, but where every dollar goes. From there, you can set clear priorities. What actually matters most to you? Then you plan ahead for the big stuff, like college and taxes. The goal is to create a balanced plan that aligns your money with all of your goals, not just one. So, this all brings us to one last really important question you need to ask yourself. Take a good, honest look at your finances and ask, is my income actually building me long-term wealth? Or is it just paying for a more expensive version of living paycheck to paycheck? And hey, the answer to that, it's totally in your hands.